Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Amber, aka Duchess of the Dolls, coming to you live from my house. So in case you've been living under a rock lately, we have a huge global crisis going on right now, better known as coronavirus, the Rona, La Llorona, COVID19, SARS-CoV-2.
The CDC says the world is the epicenter of the deadly coronavirus. Death tolls and the spread of COVID-19 are rising at unprecedented rates. Government officials around the world are strongly recommending social distance at any cost. This pandemic, it appears, isn't going away anytime soon.
Depending on what part of the world you're in and what you are referring her to. But she's here. A lot's been going on. I initially had wanted to cover her from the beginning, like from China. As you guys know, I'm a research junkie, so I've been like on top of it from the beginning, tracing it from back to Wuhan, China, and I've been following it very closely ever since. So in case you've been wondering where I've been, that's where I took this very seriously. I started to prepare early March, like end of February. For those of you who have been following me on my social medias, you know that I was supposed to be in Nashville early March, and then in Washington State I was supposed to do my packing and how I pack, things like that, and I didn't do it, and that is why. I actually contacted the company that I am a brand ambassador through and was like, look guys, I have severe allergies, I have asthma, so this travel is not going to be realistic for me, and went ahead and canceled. Thankfully, soon after that, the company itself pulled out of all of these events, and then shortly after that, the actual hosts of these events completely shut them down, all for good reason, because this is a huge issue that is affecting not even just the beauty industry, but the entire world. So after all of that happened, and you know, I kind of just felt like it was going to be a big deal and wasn't something that we're just going to be able to brush under the rug. I went ahead and started putting preparations in my own home and things like that. And during this time, stopping all of this to sit down and record a YouTube video just didn't feel right for me. So that's why you haven't seen me. And here we are. Today is April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. I actually closed my salon today per the state of Texas Governor Abbott's executive order G14, which includes all non-essential businesses and non-essential activities be completely cut off until April 30th. So that would put me going back into the salon May 1st. But I am so internally grateful for this from the governor's office to be able to lay down such, which may seem draconian efforts. I think that they are exactly what's needed to combat this virus, who has already taken so many lives worldwide. I'm gonna keep it light. I'm not gonna get too deep. Obviously, I have a lot of emotions right now. I have never laid myself off. Obviously, I'm a sole proprietor, so I'm the owner of my business, and I've never just told myself, yeah girl, you can't work for a month. But that's what's necessary right now. So I wanted to get on and talk to you guys a little bit about COVID-19, how I'm preparing, what we're doing to stay healthy and stay safe, and it's just going to be a little bit of catching up, if you will. After this, you probably will see a lot more of me. I want to do some in-depths, how to maintain beauty while in quarantines. I know there is, I think I read a statistic yesterday that said 70,000, no, probably 70 million people worldwide are in some sort of quarantine or lockdown. So I know that I'm amongst friends, and guess what guys, I can't even fix my mouth to complain about anything. Does it suck that my salon is closed? Kind of. Not because you know, of even monetarily, because I think that what's happening right now is so far surpassing anything like that can even be put a dollar amount on. But I am sad, obviously, because I'm gonna miss my coworkers and I'm gonna miss my clients, because I love what I do. But I literally cannot even fix my mouth to be upset about my current situation, because it's like, oh no, I have to sit home and like in my air conditioned house and watch Netflix and record YouTube videos all day. Like, oh no, I have to, you know, eat up all my quarantine snacks, which I'm not gonna do, because your girl's gonna stay thin and trim like a bicycle rim. I'm staying on my fitness while I'm locked down. But you know, in light of the entire situation, there's people literally dying all over the world right now. There's people who don't know where their next meal is gonna come from. There are families who have lost loved ones, or currently having people who are in the hospital right now that they can't see because of the way the guidelines are. You know, if you end up in a hospital, you're there by yourself. You don't get visitors. Your, you know, family can't be there, whether it's a child or an elderly person. So, you know, I've watched so much stuff on YouTube and social media, and I've seen, you know, the nurses and the first responders talk about just really, really dark times that we're experiencing right now. So I call myself blessed amongst all of that, and I'm just gonna call it all joy. And I think that if the rest of the world, if we all join together and look at it out of the same eyes, then maybe we all can too. And I'm not saying that what you're going through doesn't hurt, and I'm not saying for you not to process those emotions. I'm just saying that when you're done breathing and absorbing in all of our losses, whatever they may be, that we take a minute and be thankful that we're here to endure it. That even though we're taking all these really deep breaths, and even though we're like, oh man, this is so stressful, be thankful that we can breathe, because there's a lot of people in the world right now who cannot. So again, the beauty industry is really affected right now. All industries are really affected right now. You have international trade, you have, you know, just so many, like, it's so vast when you think about it. Like, this is next level stuff. And, you know, I love the conspiracy theories as much as the next person. I've read all of them. I've allowed myself to go down a lot of deep, dark rabbit holes. But at the end of the day, no matter what it is, whether it's real, whether you believe in it, whether you believe that it's 5G or, you know, a covert operation going on, this is the world today, and this is what we have. So that's what I've been dealing with. I'm sure all of you guys have been dealing with it as well. What I've done to prepare, again, followed it all the way from Wuhan, China, back in into February. I really knew this was going to be something that was going to be huge. I texted all of my family and loved ones and was like, hey guys, I think this is going to be an issue here in the United States. Please pay attention. Please prepare. Everybody, every single one of my friends are probably so tired of me like reliving it. I had a conversation with a friend of mine right before I decided to cancel my travel, and I was just like, you know, this is what's going on. I know I sound crazy. I hadn't really told a lot of people yet, but you know, we were just talking and I was like, I know it sounds crazy. I was like, but I really feel like this is just not a good idea. Like, I feel like this is going to be a big deal. And they were kind of like, well, you know, I haven't really looked into it, but maybe I should look at it again. And they were just kind of like, you know, travel's really not a good idea. And I was like, I know. So right after all of that, after I, you know, canceled all of my travel for the rest of the year, honestly, because I'm like, we just don't know when it's going to end, I immediately started to prepare. So I went like that, my next day off, I went and I bought hand sanitizer and I bought cleaning supplies, and I stocked up on food and things like that for the house, so that just, you know, you just don't know. These are unprecedented times, so we don't know really what to prepare for. So my best preparation idea was to prepare for it all. I have been through a natural disaster before. My house flooded during Harvey, so I know what it's like to be completely blindsided by something, and I didn't want that to happen again. So ways that I prepared is I was actually following a lot of YouTube. So Peak Prosperity is one of the ones that I followed. He was amazing. Another gentleman named Ethan, I will tag both of them down below because I want to give credit where credit is due. If it were not for these two YouTube channels, I probably wouldn't have even known where to begin, because by all sense of the word prepper, that's not me. I hadn't, you know, even thought about it, but I took their advice. So I bought food, I bought, you know, non-perishable things. I made sure that I had stockpile of medication, because at the end of the day, this may affect me or my loved ones or my family, and I want to be able to have those things that are necessary. You fast forward now an entire month and we have toilet paper shortages of all things. So back whenever all this was going on, I was buying all of that stuff, and I have that now. And that's why I felt like it was really important for me to just focus on my family and getting all of my ducks in a row before I even thought to sit down and film a YouTube video. Never did I think I would be shut down. Like, I never thought that, you know, I wouldn't have a job, but that's okay. You know, we prepare for these type of things. So again, I cannot even fix my mouth to complain about not being employed right now, because thankfully, you know, I have prepared for the situation. So financially, it's not going to be that big of a burden for a while, but eventually we got to get back to work, you know? And I'm going to sit down and make some videos about my thoughts and some of my insights, because I have tracked it so heavily from the beginning. I don't want to call them predictions, but just things that I think that you all could be mindful of now to help you guys prepare for the future and for what it's going to be like when we get back to rolling, and things that I think are going to be super important to be able to get back to life, whatever that life may be. So I prepared, I got food, I make sure that I got everything that I needed, you know, shut down the salon today per Governor Abbott's orders. But I want you guys to understand too that as somebody who has been following this virus as it's made its way across the globe through everywhere, including Italy, who's getting hit really hard, even from whenever it first showed up in Washington State and then California, and now, you know, you look at New York. One thing I can tell you is that the mitigation steps that are being taken for social distancing and closing non-essential businesses are valid. Not only are they valid, they work in a huge way. So I'm extremely thankful for it. I watched Governor Abbott's press conference yesterday when he talked about Texas being or having the lowest death rate per capita, which is huge because we're the biggest state. So whenever you talk in terms of death to infections and how that reflects with the United States, yes, we're on the low end. He talked about the fact that, you know, out of our bed capacity, out of the total beds we have in the entire state that are ICU, specifically for people who have severe complications from COVID-19, we are only utilizing 2.5% of that. So that says that we have almost well over 95% of the beds that we need, but we have to keep it there. We started out with 2 weeks where he just shut down, you know, restaurants for delivery and pickup only. He shut down the gyms and he shut down the bars. Now he's extended that, and unfortunately, but thankfully, I am included in that next continuation of non-essential businesses being closed. But even that, I think, really speaks to his dedication to keep all of us Texans safe, and that way we help flatten that epidemic curve. Why that's important to us, guys, this is what I keep hearing all the time, is, oh, it's just, you know, an old people disease, or, oh, you know, it doesn't affect me because I'm young, or I'm healthy, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter. It's an everyone virus at this point. It's a global problem, and we all are essential in the fight to stop it. Why flattening the curve does matter to you is because while you may not be the person in the ICU beds with COVID-19, if anything happens to somebody that you love and they need a bed, if it's not there, then guess what? Like, people don't make it. And that's the sad reality of a pandemic, that all the other natural tragedies continue. You still have car wrecks, you still have heart attacks, you still have, you know, babies that could potentially choke on a piece of food or something. If these ER rooms are overwhelmed, if all of our healthcare facilities are stretched to the breaking point, when you have those natural things that just happen, there's no room, there's no body, there's no beds to take care of them. Innocent people don't make it. That's why we have to do our part. That's why we're staying home, and we know that it works. If you look at New York, in New Jersey and stuff like that, if you look at their numbers just a couple days ago, you know, whenever all of these measures were just being kind of like getting to the point where we could see it. Obviously there's a 14-day incubation period for this virus, so it's a really long time before we can actually see it working. But now that all these mitigation steps have been put into practice, you see even the tiniest, teeny tiniest glimmer of hope that they're already working. New York's numbers are coming down. California is stabilizing. Washington State is stabilizing. So yes, it may look like it's over dramatic or, like I said, draconian style of efforts, but I think that it's exactly what we need right now. We're going to be shut down for 30 days in Texas, but I think that's fantastic because at the end of it, there will be light at the end of that tunnel, and we can all go back to our old lives, and we can all go back to our jobs and schools with a new sense of appreciation for it because we've been through all of this. But number two, we can't not do anything for the sake of our economy. Yes, everyone's being affected financially. Yes, everyone's struggling, but we'll be here to struggle through it. If we do nothing and we just allow it to just like work its way through and just kind of like grin and bear it, millions of people won't survive. And it's not just the old people. When you look at the data, you see that you have teenagers passing away from it. You see you have healthy 20 and 30-year-olds passing away from this virus. It's a luck of the draw, and that's one that I'm really glad that our, Texas, that our governor and that the president of the United States is not willing to gamble with. So I think that, like I said, it just is what it is for right now. I just wanted to jump on and give you guys an update. I'm glad that if you're watching this, you're safe, hopefully in your home. I hope that you stay that way. I do plan on bringing you a lot more content. I'll cover the virus more in depth. I'll talk about ways that you can maintain your beauty. Obviously, you can't come to the salons right now, anywhere in Texas and in a lot of parts of the United States. So we'll talk about maintaining little beauty tips at home, things that you can help stay fresh and beautiful until we do open back up. I'll cover the virus trajectory, what I think can happen, talk about some of the things that I've learned along the way, how you can prepare when someone that you love or your family member or yourself is sick, things that you can do right now to help build your body to be as strong as it can be. What we do know about the virus and what I have found through research is that there's still not a cure, there's not a vaccine. What that means is that this is driving us back into nature and to trust our bodies and our immune system to do exactly what God designed them to do. So while we are either A, preventing it, or B, going through it, or maybe know somebody who's going through it, I can offer some ways that I'm doing to help support my body and my immune system to do exactly what it was created to do all along. So I'll have, immunity boosting hauls, if you call them that, and go through some of my routines and stuff. But I am so glad that I finally had the strength to come back on camera. I am so glad that you all have sat with me this entire time. If you're brand new here and this is your first time, make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell notification down below so that you're notified every time I upload. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Love you, bye.